Welcome and welcome back. It's another amazing day in paradise. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you investing your time, choosing to invest your time, and watching this video. The message that I have for today is about my campaign, Mama Kai for Matriarch, and the other themes that I have of B3C with me to initiate a revolutionary act of love. I just wanted to speak to the importance of each one of those. First of all, as a matriarch, the reason why I'm campaigning to be matriarch for the city is to turn Raleigh into a city of motherly love. And the reason why I'm saying that is because as a parent, especially as a mom, we recognize that we have different children with different needs, educated moms recognize that our children have different needs and they have different interests, and and some are gonna be more accelerated than others in different areas. Some might like sports, some might like the educational the academics. And so what we do is we try to meet the needs of all of our children. We try to create balance, and that there are no favorites, right? Like that everybody gets what they need. And some of them, especially if you come from a large family, might get what they want as well. And so it's important that what I'm doing from that perspective. There's not about developer dollars. It's not about who's lobbying me to do what. It's about we're going to create some balance in meeting the needs of all people. That's the first thing. B3C with me means to be committed, compassionate, and crazy. And there's a quote from Steve Jobs, which you'll hear me say, if you haven't already. I would go to the I'm Back video to hear it in full, but you can find it. But basically he said, he ends this particular section of a quote where it says the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And I think that I think it has to be done collectively in community with others who think the same thing. And so that's why I'm inviting people to be committed, compassionate, and crazy. And this revolutionary act of love is kind of putting the boots to the ground with what I was saying earlier with being a mom and balancing it. So we want to address homelessness, absolutely. But also we want to address the lack of sidewalks and people who need help with stormwater infrastructure because their backyards are flooding and they need some help with the embankments or in the creeks in their backyard or streams in their backyard that are eroding away. We want to make sure children can safely get to school by putting in sidewalks. I mentioned sidewalks earlier, but specifically I'm looking to build sidewalks that will lead children to school so that they can grow up in an environment and in an area that is bike friendly and that will allow them to consider biking as a way of transportation for the long term, because Raleigh is pushing to become a pedestrian friendly environment, a pedestrian friendly city, which it currently is not. And so in order to have our younger generation get involved in this, then they need to be raised in a community where they can ride their bikes safely. And that means sidewalks and biking infrastructure, bike lanes, so that they can ride in them. And so this isn't just about addressing homelessness. This is addressing the needs of all people, and especially when it relates to our children. If it's possible, we want to contribute to the separation allowance for our city workers who are working physically demanding jobs. We want to make sure that our elders have the opportunity to age in place. And so this means that it's gathering a lot of private dollars to do some serious work that needs to be done. And that way, if we can take some of the burden of that off of the city, then they don't have to raise taxes. They don't have to raise taxes for you to pay for it. And so I want you to keep that in mind. Thank you for listening. Peace.